This is Vivaldi's first big event of 2019. We're going to be talking today about the new model for building brands.
Branding used to be basically a way, a strategic way, a very powerful way to insulate to basically erect a wall, to create some sort of veneer of differentiation. It's not just a car, it's the ultimate driving machine. In my opinion, the branding is changing from this world from this trying to create or carve out this veneer of sort of differentiation, of emotionality, let's say, to facilitating connections. These are sort of like just iterations of the same brand building model. Up to here is a branding of a world of walls, in my opinion. Up to here is just another sliver, another way, another veneer of trying to find differentiation. When you talk about the new world of branding, the consumer is actually, like with Tesla, almost part of the value. You know, the product is not just a car. There's one stock you should have bought, which isn't Facebook, which isn't Google, which isn't Apple, which isn't any of these technology which isn't any one of these unicorns. The stock is actually a pizza stock. It's called Domino's Pizza. You know, one of our clients is Vitality. It's an insurance company. Do you know what's the average interaction a consumer has with a health insurance company on a 3-month basis? The average interaction is 1. When you look at Vitality, the average interaction per month of Vitality is 40 times. So here are my 4 major guidelines. 2 of the industries that are in biggest trouble right now, you know, one is automotive and one is CPG, consumer goods. Do you know why? Because traditionally those 2 companies have never had a direct connection with consumers. Make consumers participants in the value creation. Literally, invite them in, have them use their data, not in order sort of like to publish your NPS numbers, but in order to help them sort of improve the product, better connect with consumers. When you think about the new world of branding, you don't think about branding your portfolio. You brand everything around it. Netflix doesn't brand just Netflix. They brand everything else that they offer. You know, Amazon doesn't brand Amazon. They brand everything else. You know, when Tesla launched the Model 3, the way they launched it is the CEO wrote a post on Twitter and says, "You can now order at a Model 3." 400,000 people signed up within the first week.
What we were actually trying to do was all the old-fashioned stuff that Eric had on the left-hand side of the chart. So we saw a consumer need that wasn't being met, and we said, we're going to, old-school marketing, we're going to meet a consumer need or a want. Because the process, people hate the process of buying a car. Particularly women in the showroom really hate the process of buying a car. And it takes forever, and there's no transparency in the information, and we just thought we can use technology to fix that, and actually you can put everything through an app, through a website. We're only scratching the surface of what you can do with this stuff, because now we've got that direct end-to-end connection, and the next thing we've done is we've built 160 different versions of Click to Buy, and we've given it to the dealers. We've taken the walls down. And we've said, instead of trying to be protective and build our own little private network and cut everybody else out, let's open the whole thing up, let everybody in.
What I think is fascinating about our business model is it's a 3-sided marketplace with 3 different constituents that we care about very deeply, and they at times have conflicting interests and needs. And so one of our biggest operational challenges is to figure out how we keep all of those groups happy in a way that ultimately adds value to the overall ecosystem and to them individually when some of those needs may be in conflict. We're learning very much in real time, I mean, you know, down to the second and in a way that can be overwhelming. What signals we need to listen to and which ones we can attend to. And then over time, we're certainly always evolving the proposition and the way that we go about delivering that value.
When we started to get under the hood of it, the issue was that it wasn't about just putting a product a little bit quicker to the market. We actually started to deconstruct the entire loan process. What do you actually have to do to obtain money, what is the customer experience to get what they need, and what is the actual product that they're really looking for.
What we really see is the way customers interact with brand and the way that they purchase is very different. So for instance, in Spain we know travelers are more price sensitive, so how do we make them feel that they're getting the right price? We do kind of higher indexing kind of value propositions. In other markets, we have completely different ways of engaging with our products. So if you think about Asia, and I don't know how many of you worked in Asia, but like the way customers interact with brands is completely different because they have built-in ecosystems. So I think it's definitely a challenge for any global brand to really understand how to win locally.
They can happen where you'll get a notification of a particular product change that's going to happen. And in my previous industry, it would have been like, it's going to happen in maybe 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months, a year, it'll happen. And in our case, it's 3 p.m. You're told it's going to happen, and 9 a.m. the next day, it's live globally, everywhere.
Most organizations talk about innovation and agility. I think actually that as you establish, it's quite key to ensure that you maintain that agility and speed, and how do you actually do it? As you grow bigger, processes are naturally put in place, rightfully so, but in order to keep at pace with technology, with innovation, with the new brands that are coming to market, to be honest, if it takes you longer than what you've just said, you're probably going to lose out.
In the old model where everything was done through the dealers, whatever feedback you got from customers, they talk to somebody in the dealership. If it only happens once or twice in a day, the dealer doesn't bother picking up the phone and ringing us and telling us. So really, we got almost no information back, whereas now, actually with our friends at Gravity, we can use social listening tools in real time. If something is developing as an issue, we can immediately find out if people are talking about it in a way that we never could before.